hot in here. Cool, can you come help up? Boy, I need to roll my sleeves, it's freaking hot. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel K. You might know me from my Instagram at MRSRACHELKRAUS. And today I'm gonna be talking all about my 2-week wait symptoms that I had before I actually knew that I was pregnant with baby number 2. So I am, in fact, pregnant with baby number 2. Right now I'm about 8 weeks and it's been a wild ride. I swore that I was crazy. I knew I was feeling these symptoms because I only wrote down things that I actually was feeling. We were trying for a baby, so obviously I was able to write out all of my symptoms during the 2-week wait. If you guys have not seen my line progression test yet, I didn't get a positive pregnancy test until 12 DPO. Typically people get their positives around like 7 DPO. 8, 9, 10 DPO. I didn't get a positive until 12 DPO. So the entire time that I was writing these symptoms down, I knew that for a fact I was feeling them. Physically, I was feeling them. They were not just mental. I thought I was crazy because I kept getting these stark negative pregnancy tests. It'll just play mind games with you. So I'm making this video because I looked up so many of these videos when I was going through the 2-week wait, and they really helped me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. Other people are feeling these things too. So I hope it brings you a little bit of hope as well. And maybe some of my symptoms are just like yours. Some of mine weren't super common. Anyways, we're gonna jump right into the video. If you like this kind of video, go ahead and smash that like button below, subscribe and turn on your bell notifications so that you never miss another time that I post. I post a lot of motherhood and lifestyle type of stuff, grocery hauls and pregnancy updates, things of that kind of sort. And I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on my channel. So comment down below why you're watching this video. Curious if you are in your 2-week wait and you're just trying to see what other people's symptoms are, or where you're at with that if you're trying to conceive. I would just love to know where you're at as well. All right, let's jump into it. If you don't know what the 2-week wait is, it is basically the 2-week window between your last day of ovulation. It's actually the day after your last day of ovulation and the day your period is supposed to start. And it's typically supposed to be 14 days. I run a longer cycle, so it's not typically the same for me. Nonetheless, I started charting them at 3 DPO. 1 and 2 DPO, I did not feel anything other than heaviness in my uterus. It is the weirdest feeling to describe, but because this is baby number 2, I kind of was like, a little suspicious. I don't know how I felt something that early. It was just like this heavy, full feeling. I don't know how to describe it other than that. 3 DPO, I had back pain. I was hungry constantly. My uterus felt full again. I had a lot of congestion. The congestion could have been just allergies. I do typically have seasonal allergies, but I thought I would put it down because it can actually be an early symptom of pregnancy. 4 DPO, I had back pain again. This back pain that I'm talking about this entire time was in my lower back, right near like my tailbone. 4 DPO, my cervical mucus started changing. I was hungry all the time, starving, like I could not get enough to eat. And what I mean by not enough to eat, I was doing intermittent fasting and had been for months and months and months. And so my body was already used to not eating early in the morning and not eating after dinner at night. One of my biggest signs is that I was hungry before like my starting time of like 12 p.m. and that was not normal for me. Again, I was congested. 5 DPO, the back pain was still there, but it was going away. I was bloating in the morning, like big time bloating. Couldn't hardly fit into my pants bloating. Hungry again, tired, and I thought it was because my 14-month-old was not sleeping and he didn't sleep the night before. So it definitely could have been that, but it also could have been because I was growing a baby. I had to take a nap that day and I am not usually a napper unless I'm pregnant. So my vivid dreams started up. These are super common for me during pregnancy. They are not just crazy wild dreams, but they're crazy wild dreams that when I wake up, I'm exhausted. I had congestion still and I started peeing very frequently. 6 DPO, I was bloating. I wrote down I could hardly button my shorts today. Hungry, tired, crazy dreams again, congestion, frequent peeing, and I was thirsty. So from this day on, 6 DPO, I have had like an unquenchable thirst. It won't go away. I drink over a gallon of water a day easily. 7 DPO, I was exhausted, sluggish, could fall asleep at any time, and I'm not usually a napper. And I remember this day I said to my mother-in-law, I feel like I've been hit by a train as I was laying there on her couch. I was moody. I was super pissed off that day and I could not shake it. And I wasn't pissed off for any certain reason. Whatever my husband did was not right. And that's kind of rare for me. I'm not typically that kind of person, but man, I could not shake it this day. I was hungry. I started getting creamy and stretchy white cervical mucus, which for me is different than any other kind of cervical mucus that I usually get during my cycle. So if you're following your cervical mucus, which I highly suggest that you do because it's a great indicator of things that are going on in your body, this was a different kind of cervical mucus, and it was another reason why I was so confused why I was getting so many negatives, because I was like, okay, this is a physical change that I can see and I'm still getting negatives. It's creamy and stretchy, like I said, but it's thick. It's like a thick mucus. So, and it's typically a lot of it. It's increased as time has gone on, but in the beginning it still was quite a bit. Frequent peeing, thirsty, and this is when my lips started getting chapped. So my lips have been chapped ever since 7 DPO. 8 DPO, I had the same white cervical mucus, the creamy, stretchy, stringy, whatever you want to call it, but thick cervical mucus. I didn't feel bloated, but my pants were already getting tight around my belly, not around my legs, just around my belly. I was irritable. I was so bloated after dinner. I remember this day because I went downstairs with Derek. We were hanging out after Logan had gone to sleep, and I was so bloated that I was like crying in pain. I guess gas, but it never really came out as gas. It never came out. I just went to sleep and it kind of like decreased the next day. I was so thirsty, parched. I had sensitive gums. They actually bled that day. And then I had a dream about getting a positive pregnancy test on this day. This was 8 DPO. 9 DPO, I had back pain when I was picking up Logan. I still get that kind of back pain. It's like a twinge of pain if I just move it quite right when I'm like picking him up. I had the stringy white cervical mucus, medium to heavy amount, frequent peeing, so thirsty, round ligament pain once I was putting Logan down for bed. So I remember I was putting him down and I was kind of to my side, like I kind of had my hip resting on the pack and play. And as I was putting him in, it was like, oh, okay. And round ligament pain, if you've never been pregnant before or had round ligament pain, it's almost like if you've stretched a muscle too far, like let's say you don't know how to do the splits and you try and do the splits. Once you get to that point of your muscles being like, all right, I'm done, get me up out of these splits, and it's kind of painful, that's kind of what round ligament pain feels like, at least for me. I had congestion again, and then again on 9 DPO, I had a dream about getting a positive pregnancy test. 10 DPO, I had congestion, watery cervical mucus, and I was still thirsty. I didn't write down as many symptoms this day because this was like the 3rd day in a row that I had gotten a stark negative. All of the videos on YouTube that I'd watched, everybody had already gotten their positive pregnancy test by 10 DPO. So I was like, all right, I must be crazy thinking, like I knew these things were happening to me, but I felt like I must be crazy thinking that I was pregnant just because these things were happening to me, even though they were out of the ordinary for me. 11 DPO, I literally wrote down, doubting I'm pregnant. I cried myself to sleep that night because I can't even remember why, which is kind of crazy because I'm not really a crier unless I'm pregnant. I can cry at like the drop of a hat when I'm pregnant. I had the same cervical mucus and I was thirsty. 12 DPO, I had a positive pregnancy test. I will have my line progression test linked below for you guys in case you need some hope. I did not get a positive pregnancy test until 12 DPO, and you'll see it all in that line progression test video. I go through it all very in depth. I cried about it, obviously pregnant. Same cervical mucus, so hungry, thirsty. My heart started racing even when I was sitting. And this has happened to me with Logan's pregnancy, but I don't remember it being this early. I think it was later in the pregnancy, but I also didn't like ever write down these things that I was feeling with Logan. So that could be, I just don't remember. And then I felt pressure in my uterus, just like full, you know, like kind of, you just feel so full and like almost congested in your uterus. Is that even a thing? 13 DPO, I had a tinge of stretching and pain in the left side of my uterus, but really not much of anything. I got another positive pregnancy test, but it was not any darker than the day before. Okay, I wrote this down that it was not any darker, but when I look at the video, it was definitely a little bit darker. But at this point, HCG levels double about every 48 to 72 hours. So I knew that, and I knew it was normal that it wasn't getting darker yet. Thirsty, hungry, I was craving white carbs, same cervical mucus, and I was tired, but it was also rainy out. So I wasn't sure. Rainy weather really affects me and makes it hard for me to stay motivated and not be tired. 14 DPO, I had crazy vivid dreams again, same cervical mucus. I kept getting hungry earlier and earlier, and to this day, I get hungry in the middle of the night, which is so typical for me in my pregnancies. My boobs were fuller at the 5:30 a.m. feed, so I'm still breastfeeding our now 15-month-old Logan. He might have been 13 months when I got pregnant. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look, but I'm still breastfeeding him multiple times a day, and we were doing a 5:30 a.m. feed at this point, and it was strange that my boobs were fuller then because I'm at the point where I don't get engorged anymore. My milk production is very regulated with him. My body knows exactly how much he needs. I'm actually starting to lose a lot of my milk production, which is totally normal during pregnancy. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that I had more milk then. And then I had a really hard time falling asleep at night. And this still rings true unless I literally run my body ragged. Anyways, I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, leave me a comment down below. I wanna know, like, what symptoms are you feeling that you're like, okay, glad you said that because now I feel not so crazy. I'm serious, you guys. These videos were very, very helpful for me during my 2-week wait, especially when I was getting those negative pregnancy tests. So I'm really hoping it's helpful for you guys as well. That's the whole point of me making this. Also, it's really fun to look back on these symptoms, and when I get pregnant again, maybe I'll come back to my own 2-week wait video. If you guys enjoyed it, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications so that you never miss another time that I post, and I'll see you next time. Bye.